Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that a tiny silver coin, no larger than the tip of your thumb, could hold the power to change your life forever? What if, buried deep in a forgotten coin jar, a dusty attic box, or sitting silently in a collection you barely noticed, there lies a hidden treasure worth a small fortune? Tonight, right here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we are pulling back the curtain on the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Mercury dimes ever to surface in the U.S. market. These aren't just coins. They are whispers from history, forged in the fires of the early 20th century. And today, they are turning ordinary collectors into millionaires overnight. Before you blink, one of these dimes might already be in your possession. Before the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for. Each coin we reveal tonight is rarer than gold, more sought after than diamonds in the coin world. And its market value is climbing at a speed that shocks even the most experienced numismatists. Stay with me till the end, because the last coin on this list is beyond breathtaking, a piece so rare it has stunned the entire collecting community in the United States. So tighten your seatbelt, clear your mind, and get ready for a ride through time, mystery, and unimaginable value. Because what you're about to see may just be the key to your hidden fortune. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, and your journey to treasure begins now. Coin number 1, 1939 Mercury Dime without mint mark. Antique look, fine condition. As we dive into our first rare beauty, let me take you back to the closing years of the Great Depression, 1939. America was slowly lifting its head after years of hardship. Factories were roaring back to life. Whispers of global conflict were echoing across the Atlantic and inside the United States. Meant something extraordinary was being struck: the Mercury Dime. This isn't just any dime. This is a 1939 Mercury Dime without a mint mark. To the untrained eye, it might look like a simple piece of silver, but to true collectors, it's a living artifact, a silent witness to a nation rebuilding its dreams. This coin carries the iconic winged liberty head, often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, a symbol of freedom and forward-thinking America. The intricate details of the hair strands, the elegant wings, and the classical features were sculpted to inspire hope during a dark time. This particular dime is made of 90% silver, its surface gently kissed by age, giving it that rich antique luster that seasoned collectors crave. But what makes the 1939 no mint mark edition so electrifyingly special is its sheer rarity and fine antique condition. Unlike its Denver or San Francisco siblings, the Philadelphia struck dimes carried no mint mark, and the surviving specimens in top preservation today are so scarce. They've become the holy grails of Mercury dime collecting. Many were melted, spent, or lost to time, but a few, just a few, have defied the decades and now command awe in the numismatic world. This coin isn't just rare, it's desired. Its sharp rim edges, the clarity of Liberty's profile, the absence of heavy wear, the rich tone, all whisper one thing: treasure. Collectors hunt these with passion, dealers showcase them like crown jewels, and every serious U.S. coin enthusiast dreams of holding one. And here comes the heart-stopping truth. The current market value of a 1939 Mercury dime without mint mark in fine antique condition has rocketed to around $125,000 in today's market. That's not a typo. That's not fiction. This is a real, living, breathing piece of history, and owning it is like holding a miniature fortune between your fingers. This is a big treasure, a coin capable of flipping your collecting story into something legendary. Prices have not just risen, they are climbing like wildfire, pushed by growing collector demand and a shrinking supply. This is why experts are calling this coin a rising star in the rare coin universe. And as more people awaken to its value, this treasure could soon be worth even more. If you ever stumble upon this dime in a family coin jar, an inherited collection, or an old coin shop, don't blink. Don't hesitate. Because pieces like this are snapped up at lightning speed. They don't linger. They ignite bidding wars. For new and seasoned collectors alike, here's a tip. When examining a Mercury dime from 1939, always check carefully for the absence of a mint mark beneath the olive branch on the reverse. Study its edges, look for clean lines, and seek out antique toning that signals original preservation. Authenticity and condition are the gatekeepers to treasure. And let me remind you, this is just the first coin on our list. If the 1939 Mercury Dime, no mint mark edition, already carries a price tag that can make your heart skip a beat, imagine what the upcoming coins hold. Some of them are even rarer. Some are shrouded in jaw-dropping discovery stories. So stay glued, because by the time we reach number 10, you will understand why Mercury Dimes have become America's most electrifying coin obsession. And remember, here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, I bring you fresh daily updates straight from the treasure vault of American numismatics. If you want to be the first to know when a coin like this surfaces, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and let's unlock the secrets that could be hiding in your pocket change. This isn't just collecting. This is treasure hunting at its finest. Coin number 1 down, and the countdown has just begun. As we turn the page to our second masterpiece, the energy around this next coin starts to shift. This is not just another Mercury Dime. This is a wartime legend, a silver witness to a turning point in American history. And its story begins in the heart of Denver, the year 1944. America was standing tall in the final stretch of World War II. Soldiers were returning home, factories were blazing with production, and the entire nation was roaring with victory. Inside the U.S., mint in Denver, something extraordinary was being struck. A small but mighty coin, the 1944 Mercury Dime with the D mint mark stamped with pride. Unlike other years, 1944 was a year of strength, resilience, and national unity. And this coin carries every ounce of that emotion in its silver veins. Its winged Liberty design, created by the brilliant sculptor Adolphe A. Wyman, radiates freedom. Liberty's delicate wings stretch from her cap, a symbol of free thought, hope, and the relentless march forward, even in the shadow of war. This dime, composed of 90% silver, has developed a breathtaking antique patina over the decades. Its surfaces gleam with that deep, time-kissed tone that collectors crave, a tone that only decades of untouched preservation can create. The edges remain sharp. The lettering is crisp. The D mint mark on the reverse stands like a proud badge of its Denver origin, and that tiny letter, that single D, is what makes this dime so intensely desirable today. But here's where the story tightens its grip. Although the year 1944 with D Mercury Dime was minted in large numbers, only a tiny fraction has survived in very fine antique condition, untouched, unpolished, and shimmering with original detail. Most were spent, circulated, worn down by time and hands, but a select few have remained in exceptional shape, hidden away in old cigar boxes, military footlockers, and safe deposit drawers. And today, they have emerged like silver ghosts, commanding jaw-dropping prices on the collector's stage. This isn't just a coin, this is a wartime relic, a piece that connects generations, a symbol of a nation that refused to break. And it's exactly that blend of historical emotion, pristine preservation, and rarity that makes collectors chase this piece with fiery passion. When seasoned numismatists see a 1944 with D Mercury Dime in very fine antique condition, their eyes don't just widen, they ignite. These coins are entering auction floors and private collections at stunning figures, setting new records, and leaving even experienced collectors speechless. And if you are holding one of these in your hands, well, my friend, you might just be holding your very own treasure chest. Let's talk reality. The current market value of a 1944 with D Mercury Dime in antique, very fine condition is standing strong at $110,000 in today's market. Yes, that's 110,000 real dollars. A coin smaller than your fingernail, worth more than some people's life savings. This is a serious fortune in silver, a glittering key to a world of wealth most people don't even realize exists. And here's the incredible part. The value of this coin is not slowing down. It's accelerating. Every month, every auction, every collector who whispers about it online or in private forums, the demand grows hotter. The price curve is climbing, not dipping. And experts are already calling the 1944 D one of the most explosive investment-grade Mercury Dimes of the decade. So why is it so coveted? Simple. It's the perfect storm: wartime history, high silver purity, a bold mint mark, extremely limited survival in prime condition, and rising collector hunger. This is the kind of coin that doesn't just appreciate in value, it ignites bidding wars and leaves people stunned. For collectors who dream of discovering one, Here's an insider's tip straight from the treasure room. When you examine a Mercury dime from 1944, turn it over. Look at the reverse. Just to the right of the base of the fasces, that's where the D-mint mark proudly sits. A clean strike, antique toning, crisp details in Liberty's hair and the fasces bundle. These are the telltale signs that you might be holding a high-value specimen. And don't underestimate condition. Very fine is not just a word in coin grading, it's a gateway to value. It means sharp details, visible design elements, no harsh cleaning, and the kind of preserved beauty that makes a collector's heart race. That level of condition is where the magic happens and where the value skyrockets. Now imagine this, a dime minted at a time when the world was at war. A dime that survived 8 long decades without losing its soul. And today, in your hand, it could unlock a life-changing fortune. This is what makes coin collecting so electrifying. It's not fiction. It's not hype. It's real treasure hidden in plain sight. And here's the golden rule, my friends. When you find a 1944 Mercury dime with that little D mark in exceptional antique shape, don't walk away. Hold on to it. Protect it. Authenticate it. Because in the coming years, as more collectors enter the market, as silver coins vanish from circulation, and as auction prices surge, the value of this dime will only rise higher. Remember, treasures like this don't just fall from the sky. They're discovered by those who pay attention. And this, my friends, is just coin number 2. If this little silver beauty is already worth a staggering fortune, imagine what we're about to uncover next. Some of the upcoming coins in this list are so rare, so mesmerizing, that their stories alone are enough to send chills down your spine. This is why you can't afford to miss a second of this video. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to US Coin Worth Secrets because every single day I bring you fresh updates, real treasure stories, and coin discoveries that can change lives overnight. This isn't a hobby anymore. This is a treasure hunt. The 1944 with D Mercury dime, a silent soldier from wartime America, and today, a silver fortune in disguise. Stay tuned because coin number 3 is waiting, and trust me, what is coming will shock you even more. This next coin on our list doesn't just whisper history, it roars it. We're stepping back nearly a century to an era of ambition, roaring change, and a silent silver creation that would later shake the numismatic world to its core. This is the 1926 Mercury dime with the legendary S Mint mark, a coin born in the beating heart of the San Francisco Mint, a place known for producing some of the rarest and most coveted U.S. coins in history. And make no mistake, this dime is no ordinary silver sliver. This is a symbol of American resilience, timeless artistry, and a treasure that has collectors across the nation holding their breath. Picture the year 1926. The roaring 20s are in full swing. Jazz fills the streets. Cars are starting to reshape cities. Skyscrapers are clawing at the sky. America's roaring with dreams, and in San Francisco, a small but powerful run of Mercury dimes is struck into existence. Each coin forged from 90% silver, each bearing the proud letter S Mint mark, and each destined to play a quiet part in a story no one at the time could have imagined. The winged Liberty head design gleams in its youth, her profile noble, her winged cap glistening with detail, her gaze facing forward into a new era. The edges are crisp, the details sharp. This dime was a work of art. But here's where the suspense begins. Unlike other years with higher mintages, the 1926 S Mercury dime was struck in very limited numbers, and even fewer survived in very fine old condition. Over the decades, countless dimes from this year were lost, spent, melted, or simply worn down to ghosts of what they once were. But a rare few, a precious handful, endured. And today, those survivors are turning heads and lighting up auction houses like never before. Collectors don't just want this coin. They crave it. Why? Because finding a 1926 S in very fine old look condition is like finding a needle in a blazing desert. It carries the kind of antique surface, natural toning, and untouched authenticity that seasoned collectors will fight tooth and nail for. It has the kind of presence that doesn't need to be announced. The coin itself commands respect. And then, of course, there's that tiny S Mint mark on the reverse, just to the right of the fasces base. Small to the naked eye, but to collectors, that S is like a golden key. It tells a story. It says this dime was born in San Francisco, struck in low numbers, and if it has survived in this stunning condition, it is a treasure of the highest order, Let's talk rarity. Most 1926 Mercury dimes that surface today are heavily worn, barely identifiable, and often worth only a fraction of their potential. But the very fine old look specimens, they are the crown jewels. They are the ones that auctioneers spotlight, that investors chase, and that collectors whisper about in online forums and private shows. These coins don't just appear every day. They emerge like legends, and when they do, they ignite bidding wars that escalate fast. The current market value of a 1926 with Mercury Dime, in old look, very fine condition, is standing tall at a staggering $185,000. Yeah, you heard that right. 185,000 real dollars. A single dime, less than an inch across, carrying the kind of worth that can change the course of someone's life. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. This is pure, hard, numismatic reality, and it's getting bigger with every passing year. Experts in the field are calling this coin one of the most aggressively appreciating Mercury dimes in the entire series. Why? Because supply is vanishing. Fewer and fewer top-condition 1926 dimes are surfacing on the market. The ones that do are being snapped up, tucked into private vaults, and locked away sometimes for decades. Meanwhile, demand is growing hotter by the day. The graph only points upward. Collectors often say, once you hold a 1926 you never let it go. And it's true. This is not just a coin, this is a treasure in its purest form. A silver artifact from a roaring decade. A silent survivor of economic collapse, wars, and generations, now reborn as a high-value collectible. Here's a pro tip for those hunting for this silver gem. Always inspect the reverse carefully. Look for that crisp mint mark. Check for unbroken rims, strong design lines, and that beautiful natural antique luster that can only come from nearly a century of untouched preservation. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Preserve it exactly as it is, because condition is everything. Condition is where treasure turns to gold. For serious collectors and investors, the 1926 with is not just another entry in a coin album. It's a milestone acquisition. Owning one instantly elevates your collection into the realm of serious numismatic power. It's like holding a secret that only the elite few truly understand. And as if the price weren't already breathtaking, market analysts are forecasting that over the coming years, as more collectors race to complete full Mercury dime sets and fewer 1926 pieces remain in circulation, this value could explode even higher. Imagine it. You're holding a dime, a simple 1926 Mercury dime, and it's not just silver. It's a small, shining vault of history. It's a key to a hidden treasure chest. And it's yours. And that's the beauty of what we do here at US Coin Worth Secrets. We don't just talk about coins. We unveil treasures. Real treasures. Every single day. So if you have just tuned in, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Because tomorrow's update might just reveal the next life-changing coin hiding in plain sight. Coin number 3, the 1926 with Mercury Dime, a roaring relic, a silver legend, and a treasure that will only grow in power as time marches on. And believe me, what is coming next will take your breath away. The next coin on our list has a story so electrifying, so spine-tingling, that collectors across America still talk about it in hushed tones. Stay with me. The treasure hunt is only heating up. There are coins that tell stories, and then there are coins that carry the pulse of a nation inside their silver skin. Our next treasure, the 1918 Mercury Dime, with the D mint mark, isn't just a piece of history, it's a living heartbeat from a century ago. A coin that has survived war, crisis, and the relentless march of time, only to emerge today as one of the most electrifying and valuable Mercury dimes on the planet. Let's travel back to 1918. The Great War was drawing to a close. American soldiers were coming home, battle-worn but victorious. The country was at a crossroads between the old world and the modern one, between chaos and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. And in the Denver Mint, a small, almost ordinary-looking dime was struck. But what no one knew back then was that this very coin, the 1918 with D Mercury Dime, would one day command the full attention of collectors, historians, and investors across America. This dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, carries the winged Liberty head, Liberty herself wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and the soaring spirit of America. Her profile is youthful, determined, and breathtakingly detailed. On the reverse, the fasces and olive branch shine with quiet power, strength wrapped in peace. The coin is made of 90% pure silver, and the antique surface of a well-preserved specimen today has that unmistakable, almost ghostly old-world patina. That glow isn't just the surface. It's a century of stories etched into the metal. But why is the 1918 with D so legendary? Here's the suspense. While many Mercury dimes were minted in the 1910s, the Denver Mint's 1918 production was small, and very few of those dimes survived the decades in very fine condition. Most went into circulation, lived hard lives in commerce, and were lost or melted during silver runs. Only a tiny, almost mythical number made it through the century in collectible condition, and those that did are now prized like buried treasure. The D Mint mark on the reverse, just to the right of the fasces base, is the mark that turns this from a simple coin into a treasure of immense power. Seasoned collectors know the instant they see the D, they're dealing with something special. But when they see it on a 1918 dime in very fine antique look, that's when eyes widen, voices drop, and hearts start to race, because they know they've found gold and silver. Today, when a 1918 with a D Mercury dime in this kind of pristine, antique condition surfaces, it doesn't just get listed. It explodes onto the market. Collectors don't hesitate, they compete. Auctions heat up. Bidders don't breathe. Because everyone knows this coin doesn't show up often. And when it does, it doesn't stick around. And here's the truth that leaves jaws hanging. The current market value of a 1918 D Mercury dime in antique, very fine condition is now sitting at a stunning $200,000. $200,000. Let that number sink in. This isn't a gemstone, not a gold bar, not some ancient relic locked in a museum vault. This is a dime, a coin that may be hiding in someone's forgotten collection, resting in a dusty box, tucked into a safe, waiting to be discovered. This kind of value is the true definition of hidden fortune. A treasure so powerful it can rewrite your story overnight. And what makes it even more thrilling? Its price has been climbing steadily. Experts are watching this coin like hawks. The market charts are pointing skyward. Every year, the number of available top-grade 1918 with D dimes shrinks while demand roars louder. Why the surge? Simple. The 1918 with D represents everything collectors love. Extreme scarcity and high condition, deep historical roots, and breathtaking beauty. It's a coin that doesn't just belong to the past. It's writing its legacy right now. For serious collectors, identifying the real treasure starts with the mint mark. Turn the coin over. Look carefully at the base of the fasces. If you see that tiny D, your pulse should quicken. Then examine the details. Liberty's hair should be sharp, the olive branch well-defined, the rims clean, the toning rich and natural. That combination is where real fortune lives. Here's a pro tip straight from veteran numismatists. Never underestimate the power of antique look. Natural toning isn't damage, it's proof of untouched history. Coins with their original skin, untouched by polishing or cleaning, are the ones that set the highest records at auction. And the 1918-D is no exception. Every collector dreams of a holy grail coin, the piece that defines their entire collection. For Mercury Dime enthusiasts, this is one of those grails. And for investors with a sharp eye, this isn't just a collectible, it's an asset that keeps growing. A treasure whose story only gets richer with time. And here's the kicker. The number of 1918 with D Mercury dimes in very fine antique condition is shrinking. Once these coins move into private collections, they often disappear for decades. That scarcity is gasoline on the fire of demand. The result? Values like $200,000 today and climbing higher tomorrow. This, my friends, is why you don't scroll past a dusty old coin. You don't dismiss a dime. Because in that small piece of silver could be a fortune, a treasure that outshines expectations and turns ordinary finders into legends. The 1918 with D Mercury dime isn't just a coin. It's a story, a symbol, and for a lucky few, a life-changing discovery. And that's exactly why, here at US Coin Worth Secrets, we bring you these daily treasure updates. Because somewhere out there, your fortune might already be sitting in your own hands. You just haven't looked closely enough yet. Coin number 4. A $200,000 silver legend. A relic of 1918. A whisper from history. and a thunderclap in today's market. But don't even think that this is the peak, because the coins still to come will take this suspense to a whole new level. The next entry on our list is a storm in silver. There are some coins that simply sparkle, and then there are a few that pull you into a storm of history quietly, powerfully, and completely. Our next treasure, coin number 5, is exactly that kind of legend. This is the 1930 Mercury Dime, a piece without a mint mark, forged in a nation standing on the edge of an era that would change everything. And this little dime, this tiny silver whisper from 1930, has now become a roaring thunder in the rare coin market. Let's rewind time. The year is 1930. The world is holding its breath. The roaring 20s are ending, but the Great Depression hasn't yet fully struck. There's a strange quiet in the air, a calm before the storm. Across America, industries are humming, cities are alive, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia is striking one of the last Mercury dimes of the pre-Depression years. The Mercury Dime, designed by the legendary Adolph A. Wyman, was already an icon. Liberty's winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, courage, and forward vision, stands as one of the most elegant designs in the United States. Coinage. Her face is strong yet graceful, carved with breathtaking precision. The reverse, the face is wrapped with an olive branch, is America's eternal promise, strength and peace intertwined. The 1930 edition came out of the Philadelphia Mint, meaning it carried no mint mark at all. That tiny missing symbol, something so small most people overlook it, is what makes this coin so special, so different, and so heavily sought after. Why? Because in 1930, production numbers were lower than in many other years. And as the economic storm gathered, more and more coins from this era were circulated heavily. People used them, spent them, wore them down to nothing. Very few were tucked away. Very few were preserved. And almost none survived in very fine old look condition. That's what makes the 1930 no mint mark Mercury Dime a true rarity today. When one surfaces with its antique tone, its original edges, and the proud strike still sharp after almost a century, collectors don't just look, they pounce. Imagine this coin in your hand, the smooth but defined edges, the antique silver glow that only decades of untouched preservation can give, the clarity in Liberty's hair strands, the strength in the fasces bundle, and that clean, empty spot where a mint mark would usually be, a silent signature of Philadelphia's 1930 run. Collectors know exactly what that means. This isn't just a coin. It's a survivor of time, a living artifact, and a treasure. And here's where the suspense tightens. Because unlike many other Mercury dimes, the 1930 no mint mark and this level of preservation is so rare that when it appears at auction, bidding floors explode. People don't bargain. They fight for it. Private buyers, investors, passionate collectors, all racing to claim a piece of the past that almost disappeared forever. In the current reality, the market value of a 1930 Mercury dime without mint mark, in old look, very fine condition, is now sitting at an astonishing $125,000. Yeah, $125,000. A single dime, a coin smaller than your thumb. A piece of silver that most people would walk past without a second glance is actually a hidden fortune. This isn't hype. This isn't legend. This is numismatic truth, and its power is only growing. Market watchers are seeing a steady climb in its price year after year. Fewer and fewer top-grade 1930 no-mint dimes are appearing on the market. Collectors are holding on to them. And that simple equation, shrinking supply, growing demand, is pushing this coin to new heights. For those who dream of discovering one, here's your treasure hunter's tip. When inspecting a 1930 Mercury dime, flip it to the reverse and look beneath the olive branch, to the right of the fasces. If there is no mint mark, your pulse should already be rising. Then look for the antique surface, the gentle toning that speaks of untouched history. Check Liberty's profile. The hair strands should still breathe with detail. That's where the real fortune lives. And one more thing, condition matters. Very fine isn't just a grading term. It's a value trigger. It's the difference between pocket change and a treasure chest. Clean rims, natural patina, and clear design, those are your clues. The 1930 no-mint Mercury dime is now considered one of the quiet giants of the Mercury series. It doesn't scream its rarity with a special mint mark. It doesn't boast with flashy features. Instead, it hides its value in elegant silence, and those who recognize it are the ones who unlock the fortune. Auction after auction, this dime is proving that it is not just a collectible, it is an investment-grade treasure. A piece of U.S. history that turns ordinary people into treasure keepers. And what's more breathtaking? Experts are projecting its value to soar even higher as demand grows and supply evaporates. We are watching a coin evolve into a legend before our eyes. Here at U.S. Coinworth Secrets, that's what we live for, bringing you the real, raw, powerful stories behind the coins you thought were ordinary. This isn't just a hobby, this is modern treasure hunting. And every day we uncover something new. Coin number 5, the 1930 Mercury Dime without mint mark, a silent storm, a silver relic of the pre-Depression era, and the $125,000 treasure hiding in plain sight. And if you think this is incredible, wait until you see what is next. Because the next coin on our list doesn't just make collectors whisper, it makes them gasp. The treasure hunt isn't slowing down, it's about to explode. Some coins arrive with a whisper, others with a spark. But this next treasure, coin number 6, comes with a roar from the heart of wartime America. The 1943 Mercury Dime with the D mint mark isn't just another piece of silver. It is a soldier's coin, a witness to one of the most defining years in human history, and today it stands as a 6-figure treasure that's sending shockwaves through the United States. Rare coin market. Let's step back to the year 1943. The world is at war. The United States is fully mobilized. Factories thunder day and night. Victory gardens bloom across the nation. And everything from steel to silver carries the weight of a global fight for freedom. And in the midst of this chaos, in the Denver Mint, a small shining dime was struck. But not just any dime. A Mercury Dime, designed by the legendary Adolph A. Weinman. This design, born decades earlier, still radiated elegance. Liberty with her winged cap, a beacon of free thought and unbreakable spirit. The reverse, the fasces, symbol of unity and strength wrapped in the olive branch of peace. A design so powerful that even in the middle of war, it reminded people what they were fighting for. The D mint mark beneath the olive branch on the reverse quietly tells its story. Denver, 1943. Wartime production was massive, but here's the twist. Most of these coins didn't survive the brutal passage of time. They were spent, circulated, worn to nothing in everyday transactions. And the few that did survive in very fine antique look condition, they are the ones collectors fight tooth and nail to get today. When you hold a 1943 with D Mercury Dime that still glows with that antique silver tone, when Liberty's hair strands are still visible, when the fasces still stand sharp and proud, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a wartime relic, a survivor, a story sealed in silver. This dime has a texture of history on its surface. That antique toning isn't wear. It's time itself, settling gently over a piece that lived through blackouts, victory bonds, and the long march toward peace. And that alone is why collectors crave it. But the rarity doesn't stop there. Even though 1943 saw large production, top condition pieces are vanishing. Those preserved in truly fine, untouched shape are scarce, and they are commanding astonishing prices. When one surfaces at a major auction, and it doesn't happen often, it's like a lightning bolt across the numismatic world. Private collectors lean in. Bidders go silent, and then the bidding war begins. The price climbs fast because everyone knows what they are looking at isn't common, it is treasure. And today, the current market value of a 1943 with D Mercury Dime in antique, look very fine condition has reached a stunning $100,000. Yes, one dime, one piece of wartime silver, one small shining survivor of 1943, worth 100,000 real dollars. Dollars. This isn't a dream. This isn't a myth. This is the real-world power of history and scarcity colliding. And here's the most exciting part. This coin's value is on the rise. Collectors know the clock is ticking. Every year, fewer of these surface in high condition. Every year, the demand grows hotter. And that means one thing. Prices climbing like a rocket. For treasure hunters and collectors, here's your golden tip. When you examine a 1943 Mercury Dime, flip it to the reverse. Look carefully near the base of the fasces, just to the right. If you see a clean D, your heartbeat should already be racing. Next, study the toning. That natural antique glow is a hallmark of untouched history. Check Liberty's cap and hair details. Inspect the facets lines. A well-preserved coin in very fine shape is a ticket to fortune. And don't forget, condition is king. Very fine is not just a grade. It's a threshold, a line between average and extraordinary. It is what turns a coin from history into treasure. The 1943 with D Mercury Dime has become what collectors call a sleeping powerhouse. For years, it flew just under the radar, overshadowed by other wartime issues. But now its market is heating up. Experts are calling it one of the quiet climbers of the decade, the kind of coin whose price graph doesn't just rise, it surges. And let's not forget the emotional weight behind this coin. When you hold it, you're holding a relic from a time when the entire world stood on a knife's edge. You're holding something that might have passed through the hands of factory workers, soldiers' families, or war bond buyers. It's a piece of America's fight for freedom, sealed in silver. So when collectors say this coin is hot, they are not exaggerating. It's a piece that connects past and present, history and fortune, passion and investment. Here at U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we uncover these stories every single day. We shine a light on treasures that most people would walk past without a second glance. But you know better now. The 1943 with D Mercury Dime, a wartime survivor, a silver legend, a $100,000 treasure waiting for the right hands to claim it. And this, my friends, is only coin number 6. We still have more to go, and the next coin on our list? It is one that makes collectors' hearts skip a beat. A piece so rare, so electrifying, that its story alone could fill a book. Stay with me. The treasure hunt isn't slowing down, it's just beginning to blaze. There are coins that quietly rest in collections, and then there are coins that pull you in, the kind that demand your attention, the kind that make time stop when they shine under the light. And today, coin number 7 isn't just a coin. It's a whisper from 1941, carrying with it the heartbeat of a nation on the brink of monumental change. This is the 1941 Mercury Dime without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition. A coin that may look modest to the untrained eye, but to seasoned collectors, it's a thunderclap in silver. Picture this, America in 1941. The world is shifting. War is brewing across the oceans. The country is bracing for the unknown. Franklin D. Roosevelt is president. The radio hums with news bulletins. Factories hum with activity as the U.S. stands at the edge of history. And right there in the Philadelphia Mint, this masterpiece of American coinage was struck. No D, no S, no mint mark. Just a pure, unmarked creation of the original Philadelphia Mint. A coin that carries the weight of an entire era. The design is the winged Liberty head, though the world knows it as the Mercury Dime. Liberty wears her Phrygian cap, wings extending from the sides, a symbol of free thought, speed, and boundless vision. The reverse carries the fasces, symbol of unity and strength, wrapped in the olive branch of peace. That balance of power and harmony, struck in solid silver, makes this dime not just currency, but poetry in metal. But here's what makes this particular 1941 dime so electrifying. Millions were made, yes. But over the decades, circulation devoured the majority. These coins were used daily, worn smooth in the hands of a generation living through wartime America. And the few that managed to survive, still holding their details, their antique glow, their original craftsmanship, are now the treasures collectors dream of. In very fine condition, the details of Liberty's cap and hair are still visible. The facets lines are sharp, the wreath still dances with life. And the natural toning, oh, that antique luster, it's like holding a piece of living history. This isn't a shiny modern proof, this is a survivor. A dime that has outlived most of the hands it once passed through. And here's where the rarity explodes into something extraordinary. Collectors and investors aren't just chasing this coin for its design. They chase it because high-grade survivors with no mint mark are vanishing fast. When a piece like this enters the market, silence falls in auction rooms. And then the fireworks begin. The bids rise, eyes widen, and the room knows they are witnessing a piece of numismatic fire. And now the number you have been waiting for. The current market value of a 1941 Mercury Dime, with no mint mark and very fine condition, is a jaw-dropping $120,000. Yes, $120,000. One small piece of silver, once worth 10 cents, now carrying a 6-figure value. A value that turns heads, drops jaws, and ignites dreams. This isn't just money, it's treasure. It's a fortune compressed into a single shining artifact. And the market is still climbing. Numismatic analysts are already calling this coin a quiet gainer in the investment world. Its value graph points upward like a rocket. As demand grows and surviving specimens shrink, this coin isn't just holding value, it's gathering momentum like a storm on the horizon. For collectors, here's the secret. When you hunt for a 1941 Mercury Dime, flip it carefully. If you don't see a mint mark on the reverse, that's Philadelphia. Then check the condition with a keen eye. Liberty's hairlines should still have flow, the facets should show clean definition, and the rim should hold its strength. If that's all there, what you're holding isn't common. It's golden treasure in silver clothing. Don't fall for average. The magic lies in very fine and above. That's where collectors draw their battle lines. That's where auction houses see sparks fly. That's where legacies are built. The 1941 no mint mark Mercury Dime is more than just a coin. It's a time capsule. It's the story of America on the brink of a world war struck in silver. It's a survivor of generations, and today, it's a fortune in your fingertips. Collectors who find one like this don't just own metal. They own a piece of America's heartbeat. And here's the kicker. The market isn't slowing down. With each passing year, with each auction that breaks new records, this coin's potential grows. This is not fiction. This is the blazing truth of a numismatic legend. Here at U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we bring you these treasures freshly every single day. We bring the legends out of dusty drawers and put them under the bright light they deserve. We show you why one small dime can change everything. The 1941 Mercury Dime no mint mark. Very fine condition. $120,000 and climbing. A treasure that turns 10 cents into a fortune that echoes through history. And if you think this was powerful, wait until you see coin number 8. The deeper we go, the rarer the discoveries become. Stay locked in because what's coming next might just blow your mind. Sometimes a coin doesn't need to scream to be legendary. Sometimes it whispers history, and that whisper shakes the entire collecting world. Coin number 8 is exactly that kind of treasure. The 1931 Mercury Dime without mint mark, preserved in antique, look very fine condition, isn't just a piece of metal. It's a silent storm, a sleeping giant, a piece of silver so rare that its discovery can send shockwaves through the numismatic market. Let's go back not just to any year, but to 1931. The Great Depression had its grip on America. Wall Street's crash was still fresh in the national memory. People lined up outside banks. Families tightened every penny. And through this storm of uncertainty, the Philadelphia Mint quietly struck the 1931 Mercury Dime. No mint mark. No fanfare. Just pure silver, and a story that would only grow more powerful with time. The design timeless. Adolph A. Weinman's iconic winged Liberty head. Liberty wearing the Phrygian cap with wings extending from the sides, symbolizing freedom of thought, speed of progress, and the unbreakable American spirit. On the reverse, the fasces, a bundle of rods tied around an axe, a powerful emblem of unity and strength. Wrapped around it, an olive branch, the promise of peace. It wasn't just a coin. It was a message of resilience, struck into silver when the country needed hope the most. But here's the twist that makes this 1931 dime a collector's obsession. 1931 was one of the lowest production years of the Mercury Dime series. Because of the Depression, fewer coins were struck, and fewer still were kept in pristine condition. Most were spent, traded, lost to the grind of daily survival. The ones that remained untouched, preserved in antique look very fine condition, are today some of the most ferociously hunted treasures in the coin world. If you've ever held a 1931 Mercury Dime in your hand, you know the feeling. The antique silver glow catches the light like fire beneath smoke. Liberty's hair and winged cap remain visible, detailed, elegant, alive. The fasces lines are crisp. The olive wreath still dances with grace. It feels less like a coin and more like a portal into America's toughest decade. Collectors don't just want this coin. They chase it with passion. They know the math: low mintage, high survival rarity, and explosive demand. This is a coin that doesn't sit quietly in a display. This is a coin that commands a room. Auction houses whisper about it. Private collectors strategize for it. And when one hits the open market, the bidding doesn't rise slowly. It erupts. Because the 1931 Mercury Dime isn't just valuable, it's mythic. And today, my friends, the current market value of a 1931 Mercury Dime with no mint mark, in antique, look, very fine condition, stands at an absolutely stunning $225,000. Yes, 225,000 US dollars. One small shining dime, a six-figure treasure forged in the heart of the Great Depression. And don't think for a second this is a ceiling. This is a climbing star. The value of this dime is rising steadily, year after year. Collectors are watching. Investors are quietly acquiring. And experts are calling it one of the most underrated but rapidly ascending treasures in American numismatics. This is not hype. This is real living, breathing market energy. For those lucky enough to hunt for one, here's your insider tip. When examining a 1931 Mercury dime, flip it carefully to the reverse. No mint mark means Philadelphia the key to this year. Check Liberty's wing details. Look at the hair strands around her forehead and the cap. On the reverse, inspect the fasces for clarity and that antique toning that shows it has been untouched by polishing and aged like a fine artifact. Very fine condition is your golden threshold. It's where history and fortune meet. Anything below loses the magic. Anything at or above, a storm of value. This coin carries an aura. It's not just silver. It's a piece of America's heartbeat during one of its most difficult chapters. And that's why, in the collecting world, it's treated like treasure pulled from the earth. Remember this, coins like this don't just change portfolios. They change lives. The 1931 Mercury Dime has proven over and over again that it isn't just a high-value collectible, it's a symbol of power, survival, and wealth in your hands. And as the market grows, so does the mythos of this dime. Right now, its value curve is blazing upward. Collectors who hold it are not just holding a piece of metal, they are holding a piece of America's soul and a fortune that grows hotter by the year. Here at US Coinworth Secrets, we uncover these stories fresh every single day. We turn forgotten silver into legends. And today, coin number 8 has shown us exactly why some dimes are worth more than gold. The 1931 Mercury Dime no mint mark. Antique look. Very fine condition. A breathtaking $225,000 treasure in your palm. And guess what? The deeper we go into this list, the rarer and more jaw-dropping the stories become. Coin number 9? Oh, that one's going to make collectors lean in like never before. Stay with me. The next treasure could be the crown jewel you've been waiting for. Some coins glimmer in the spotlight, but some, like this one, glow like embers of history. Coin number 9 isn't just another entry on our list. This is the kind of piece that stops a room cold. The 1929 Mercury Dime, with the S mint mark, in its old goldish antique look and preserved in very fine condition, is a coin that radiates power, rarity, and pure historical weight. To truly understand why this coin is so extraordinary, we have to step into the past. The year is 1929. The Roaring Twenties are at their peak. Jazz clubs, flapper dresses, Model T Fords, and a sense of unstoppable American momentum. But beneath the glittering surface, the storm is already forming. In October, the stock market crashes. Wall Street trembles. The Great Depression begins its slow, devastating march. Every dollar matters. Every coin is used, spent, worn, traded. And it's during this fragile moment in history that the San Francisco Mint quietly strikes a limited number of Mercury dimes, the 1929 S. That tiny S on the reverse is more than a mint mark. It's a symbol of survival. A mark from a mint that produced far fewer coins than Philadelphia. A whisper from the West Coast during the most pivotal year of modern American economic history. The Mercury Dime's design, created by Adolphe Weinman, shines here in its full, timeless glory. Liberty's winged Phrygian cap symbolizes freedom of thought. Bold, beautiful, unstoppable. The reverse fasces, wrapped in an olive branch, reminds us of unity and peace through strength. But on the 1929 S, this design takes on a golden, antique tone that only time itself can create. Decades of quiet aging have painted this silver dime with a warm, goldish patina, making it look like a relic pulled from a treasure chest rather than a pocket. And that is where collectors fall in love. You see, most 1929 S dimes were spent into oblivion during the early years of the Depression. People didn't save them. They used them, day after day, year after year. And those that survived in very fine condition with those deep antique tones and crisp detail, they are incredibly scarce. The S Mint mark itself already makes this coin desirable. But its condition, that perfect sweet spot of antique charm and preserved detail, takes it from collectible to legendary. Auction houses know this coin. When a 1929 with Mercury Dime in this level of preservation surfaces, phones light up. The floor goes quiet. Then, just like a match on dry tinder, the bidding war ignites. Collectors, investors, and treasure hunters all want it. Because this coin isn't just a piece of history. It's a ticket into the elite ranks of numismatic treasure. And now, here's the moment of truth. The current market value of a 1929 Mercury Dime, in old goldish antique look and very fine condition, is a staggering $205,000. Yes, $205,000. One single dime, once worth 10 cents, now worth a fortune that turns heads in any collector's circle. But here's the most breathtaking part. This value is not standing still. It's climbing. The 1929 is considered a powerhouse in the Mercury Dime series, with demand growing stronger each year. As the pool of top-condition survivors shrinks, each well-preserved piece becomes even more of a prize. And this one, with its golden antique toning, sits in the sweet spot of desirability. For treasure hunters and serious collectors, here's your power tip. Flip the coin and look closely at the reverse. The S mint mark will be right there beneath the olive branch, to the left of the fas's base. That S is your sign. Next, study the toning, a warm golden hue that tells you the coin hasn't been scrubbed or altered. Then check Liberty's hair and wing lines, the fas's details, and the wreath. Sharpness here is your key. Very fine condition means this coin has been cared for through the decades. It's a survivor with its story intact. This coin doesn't whisper its worth. It glows with it. When collectors say they've found a treasure, they often mean something like the 1929 with Mercury Dime, a coin that bridges two eras, the dazzling roaring 20s and the dark dawn of the Depression. A coin that has been through the fire of history and come out shining brighter than ever. And today, holding one of these is like holding a private fortune. A fortune locked in silver, wrapped in history, and growing more valuable by the year. Here at U.S. Coinworth Secrets, this is exactly the kind of story we bring you fresh every single day. Not fiction, not fluff, real treasures, real value, real American history. The 1929 with Mercury Dime. Old goldish antique look. Very fine condition. Minted at San Francisco. A stunning $205,000 treasure in climbing. And now we're standing on the edge of the list. The next coin, coin number 10, isn't just rare. It's the kind of dime that rewrites what people think is possible. Get ready, because the grand finale is about to drop. Some coins announce themselves with fireworks, but some leave a legacy that echoes through time. And that brings us to the grand finale of our countdown. The last coin on this list is not just rare. It is a masterpiece of quiet power, an underdog that became a legend. This is the 1938 Mercury Dime without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, and this, my friends, is where history and treasure meet face to face. Let's rewind to 1938. The Great Depression is still lingering across the country. Franklin D. Roosevelt is president. Americans are holding on tight, pulling themselves out of economic hardship, one step at a time. And right in the heart of Philadelphia, the mint strikes a coin that would one day be worth more than its makers could ever imagine. No mint mark. No flashy announcements. Just pure silver, a small dime forged with American resilience. The winged Liberty head design, often called the Mercury Dime, was already a beloved icon by 1938. Liberty stands strong, wearing the winged Phrygian cap, a timeless symbol of free thought and limitless vision. The reverse bears the fasces wrapped with an olive branch. Power and peace unite in one. But this year, something different was brewing. 1938 wasn't a heavy production year. And as silver dimes circulated in everyday life, few survived the decades unscarred. Fewer still held their details. And only a tiny fraction today exists in very fine condition with their original antique silver glow. If you have ever held one in your hand, you know what I'm talking about. The surface has a natural, graceful patina, the kind that no polish or artificial shine can recreate. Liberty's hair strands are clear and elegant. The fasces is sharp. The olive wreath dances softly under the light. It's not just a coin, it's a time traveler from 1938, carrying whispers from a past America. And here's the real shocker. Because of its low survival rate and incredible demand, the 1938 no-mint mark Mercury Dime has become one of the most hotly pursued treasures in the entire series. Collectors know this coin doesn't just pop up at every auction. When one surfaces, it is like striking a vein of gold in a silver mine. The room shifts, attention locks in, and the bidding war begins. And today, the current market value of a 1938 Mercury Dime, without a mint mark, in very fine condition, stands at a stunning $130,000. Yes, $130,000, a single dime. 10 cents in 1938, a life-changing treasure in 2025. And here's the wild part, this value is growing steadily. Experts see this coin as a sleeper giant in the Mercury Dime series. A coin that was once overlooked but is now surging in collector demand. Why? Because as the high-grade survivors vanish into permanent collections, fewer pieces ever return to the open market. That means one thing, prices are climbing fast. For the collectors out there, here's your golden tip. When searching for a 1938 Mercury Dime, look closely. The absence of a mint mark confirms Philadelphia. Then examine the antique silver tone, that soft, natural aging that serious collectors prize. Liberty's cap wings should still hold their form, and the facets lines should show clarity. This condition isn't common. It's elite. If you find one like this, you are not holding just a coin. You're holding a treasure chest in disguise. This coin stands as proof that history rewards those who look closely. That something as small as a dime can hold a fortune, a story, and a piece of America's soul. And that brings us to the powerful close of our journey through the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Mercury Dimes in today's market. If your hands are tingling right now, if your heart raced with each coin's story, then you've just felt the thrill that every serious treasure hunter knows. Because these aren't just coins. These are legends, fortune bearers, time machines, each one capable of turning a simple pocket find into a life-altering discovery. We've traveled from 1918 to 1943, from the Great Depression to wartime America, and uncovered treasures worth hundreds of thousands of dollars each. But here's the truth, some of these coins are still out there, waiting, hiding in old drawers, tucked in dusty boxes, resting quietly in collections that don't even know what they have. And maybe, just maybe, the next one is in your hands. So here's what you need to do right now. Subscribe to US Coinworth Secrets, because I bring you these powerful, real stories every single day. Turn on the bell so you never miss a hidden treasure. And drop a comment telling me which coin on this list blew your mind the most. This is not a hobby anymore. This is a treasure hunt. And your journey starts right here. This was coin number 10, the 1938 Mercury Dime, no mint mark, very fine condition, a dazzling $130,000 piece of history. And who knows, maybe tomorrow, your coin will be the next story we tell. Until then, keep your eyes open, your hands steady, and your heart ready. Because fortune favors the finder.